Hey, Piro, thanks for the response. It's interesting how it seems to be more the attitude of philosophers that determines whether or not they will argue with one another and disagree with one another rather than the content of um, their philosophical systems or beliefs. I think you and I, in the sense of the attitude we take towards understanding reality and towards the practice of philosophy, are both empirical, and we're both skeptics in a very loose sense of both of those terms. Um, we're both empirical in the sense that we find in experience really the core of philosophy, or at least where we begin doing philosophy. We begin with experience, or with perception, as you would say. I think our experience is more than um, perception, though, because when we define the word perception, it seems to mean that which that level of experience that orders our sensations. Um, and I think experience is sort of not only about ordered sensations, but also contains certain mental forms, certain meaningful, even linguistic patterns. I think experience is always already bound up in language, at least for a human being. Um, and we're both skeptical in the sense that we're willing to um, constantly re examine our beliefs in light of new evidence. And we both recognize that system, no philosophical system will ever be final, and that we must constantly reassess what it is that we believe in order to maintain any hope of discovering some truth, or perhaps some truthiness, as Stephen Colbert would say. Now, in regards to this question about the river, Heraclitus's famous aphorism about not being able to step into the same river twice, I think what is processual about reality, the reality that is process, is the material universe. Um, and in that sense, the water running through the river is never the same water. And that's why you can't step into the same river twice. What remains the same and what endures about the river is the form of the river, which is somehow lying behind the material specific river that we perceive through our senses. Um, so there is something enduring about a river, but it's not that specific river. It's the form of the river that endures. And it is only um, logically speaking, or metaphysically speaking, that the law of identity is true. A is A. Um, a river is a river, but a specific embodiment of a river in the material world is never itself. It's always um, a form in the process of being realized, but never fully or finally realized. Um, Forms represent sort of the possibilities or ideals which material processes strive to realize, but never actually realize. If they actually realized it, they'd be dead. Um, Aristotle talked about the entelechy of organisms, that all living forms strive to realize the form that they embody. But it is in their striving that they live, and not in the realization of the form. That would be to cease moving, to cease breathing. Um, it would be for the blood to cease circulating. Um, so life, the physical universe included, requires a continual process of striving towards the form in order to be what it is, to be living. So hopefully that clears up where I was going with this sense that the same river can never be stepped into twice. we can certainly talk about the river in the abstract remaining the same river in the sense of its formal structure, but its actual physical embodiment is never the same. So yeah, thanks for your response, and I was kind of intrigued by the possibility of us working on some sort of a project, because I think, you know, our philosophical attitudes are similar, and so we would be capable of engaging in some sort of um, you know, collective um, philosophical endeavor. But at the same time, the specifics of our philosophical systems are very different. And so, if we did get into some sort of collaborative project, we would discover these differences, and in so doing, um, shed light on the nuances um, of our philosophies and discover where we differ, and in that way learn more about ourselves and our own approaches. And that is very exciting to me. So um, we'll have to talk more about that later, I guess. But thanks for your video, and let me know if I've clarified my comment any better, or if you're still not sure what I mean, and we'll go from there. Take it easy.